another episode here on the Digital Trade Show podcast. I am live in Columbus, Ohio at the ADHA annual session. Very, very excited to be with you. And this morning, sitting next to me, I guess on camera it would be my right, but it's kind of my left, is a very, very old friend who I've known for many, many years. I think we were just saying 15 years, right?
15 years.
All right.
Yes.
So Brenda McCarson is everything hygiene when it comes to Brasseler USA. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, John, for inviting me. It's
Absolutely.
good to see you.
It's great to see you. So before we get into all of the cool little things at Brasseler in regards to hygiene, and there are a lot, and I know personally, worked with Brasseler many years ago, and the brand is awesome. And I think, Brenda, you have done such a great job of representing the hygiene side of it with all of your experience and working with hygienists. So we're so excited to have you come on. Let's talk a little bit about you. Talk a little bit about your story and how you got to where you are today.
Okay. First, I've been a dental hygienist for 40 years. Just had my 40th anniversary. Left hygiene probably about 25 years ago because of a back injury. You know, we don't take care of ourselves in dental hygiene, and had an opportunity to go into sales, and eventually ended up applying for a new position with Brasseler USA in Savannah. It was a hygiene specialist position to really grow the hygiene market, which is around the time you came. We met.
Yep.
And that's evolved in now I'm the national manager of hygiene and hand instruments, and have really grown the hygiene market for dental hygiene for Brasseler. In the past, hygienists, you would ask them do you know Brasseler, what we're about? Oh yeah, they have those really cool nail files that are diamond impregnated.
Right.
So that's what
That's
what hygienists knew, but We've grown that, and one of the things I always like to bring up with Brasseler that attracted me to Brasseler as a new dental hygienist 30 years ago is Brasseler was the only company that would sell to dental hygienists. Mm-hmm. I was doing a lot of temping and needed to replace some instruments at an office. They were re-tipping, which I'm very opposed to for many reasons. That's an hour discussion.
Podcast?
Yeah, that's a good podcast. And I decided I'm going to be empowered, and many hygienists are becoming very empowered and purchasing their own equipment and hand instruments. So I tried to do that, and no one would sell to me. No one. Who is your doctor? Who's your dealer? And of course, I was president of the South Carolina Dental Hygienists Association at the time, and I thought, well, you should sell to me. I'm the president.
Right.
But they would not. And a Brasseler rep came into that office, asked if there was anything I needed, and I was really haughty, and I said, I don't need another fingernail file. I need instruments. And he said, well, what do you want? We sell to hygienists. So that's really how I was. So my impression of Brasseler, was great, but it was like, 100% more at that point.
Sure.
And here we're still known for a company that sells to dental hygienists, high level of respect. You can open your own account with us directly or on our new e-commerce site. So
awesome.
That's growing.
Yeah.
Very exciting for hygienists.
Well, it's interesting. I spoke with a hygienist yesterday, Suzanne, who has her own clinic.
Yes.
And it was just really neat just to see the look on her face when I asked her this question. I said, how does it feel for you to go buy your own products? And we got off the podcast. She said, actually, John, I'm going to go make someone's day. I'm going to walk in there before the show's over and go place my order. So I thought that was really cool, along with what you said. And it really is. I think that at the end of the day, you guys are the ones, the hygienists are the ones that are using the products, and they want to be able to have that ability to have that say, which is great.
Yeah, and I think, Brasseler's in a very unique position. And in fairness to my colleagues in the exhibit hall, we work with you direct.
Sure.
We don't go through, we don't have levels.
Right.
And so we can sell direct. It's very easy for us to work directly with dental hygienists and with any of our products.
Yeah.
So that does make a difference.
Yeah. So I think what's so interesting about your career and that is kind of walked in and out of the exhibit hall a little bit, and it's always busy. And you and I just shared this really neat story about, there's something about building relationships in this industry where people just keep coming back to you, and there's a trusted level of support that they know that if they've got a question about hygiene, and I think that's really cool for a company like Brasseler, especially as you're growing and moving forward, wanting to add products, because you have that level of credibility there that if they bring another product to the market, they're going to come talk to you first because of that trust.
Yeah, and I do find that this recently happened. We introduced just not a brand new product, but new Implant Pro instruments. These are the new titanium, not heat treated, that are safe for implant maintenance for the hygienist. And because we did have a reputation already for having a similar product, they're coming to me asking questions. Okay, this product's out there, and that's trust and respect. And so we did. That is a new product that we have, and a lot of questions at this meeting about that product.
I would imagine. So we got some props here.
Yes, we do.
So it's I like props. So if you want to kind of maybe talk a little bit about what you brought here to the podcast.
All right, and these are the hot items right now for Brasseler. I don't know if that's where they need to be, but we'll hold them up. It's like you want to be Vanna.
Absolutely,
you can be Vanna.
Yes. Look at that right there.
But these are, nice. Our product is made in Germany by a company that really is known for their surgical instrumentation. So we have a high level of trust there, and.
Very light, by the way.
Very light.
Yes.
The distinct handles. A lot of the companies who are introducing implant instruments are putting a coating or a coloring on the tips for recognition. Our recognition is the handle. This is the only handle. It's a PEEK plastic, so it's going to hold up to sterilization. But the key thing is these instruments, the Rockwell C hardness is around 25, and that's very safe for implant maintenance. It won't gouge or scratch. One thing that's popular about the Brasseler brand is we recommend never sharpening. And hygienists are looking for instruments you never have to sharpen.
Sure.
Which I don't really believe there's such a thing as never sharpening a scaler or a curette. But for implant maintenance, we really don't want you to change the edge because it's the finishing. If it wasn't so soft, you would think, wow, this is a really cool scaler, but it is for implants. We don't want you to change the edge. So could you sharpen it? Yes, but we just don't recommend it unless you are, as I call it, an ace sharpener, and most hygienists laugh when I say that.
Right.
It's just a skill that we're not great at.
Yeah.
But we have a series. They're all universal. We took a line of what we call LTS Gracies, which is a longer, thinner, shorter, thinner than what we know is an mini after 5, and that is our design. But we took that. We really don't call them Gracies. We call them LTS curettes because we made them universal.
Okay.
So that's what's new. We also added for implant maintenance titanium coated with their titanium probes coated with zirconia nitride, and we're not going to pigeonhole this item just for implant maintenance. We want to replace plastic probes because plastic probes, the markings discolor, they get brittle and break. This probe has anodized markings. They're very smooth. I know you're not a hygienist, but if you've ever felt a probe,
I play one on TV sometimes.
So well, that's pretty cool. But they're very smooth, so they're going to be comfortable. So it's just zirconia nitride coated titanium, safe for your implant maintenance as well as natural dentition. So those are this is really what's hot with Brasseler, our newest product.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about this is it correlates with a lot of focus on just implant maintenance in general.
Yes, yes.
I know there was a course here, Susan Wingrove taught a course, what have you, of all of these implants got placed years ago, and now all of a sudden it's being recognized that we probably need to maintain them.
Yeah, we do.
And so this is a great compliment to that.
And John, I have talked to hygienists all over the country because I'm all over the country, and I think one of the biggest, there's a lot of confusion. If we lined up 20 periodontists right here in front of us, we would probably have 5, 6 different opinions of how hygienists should be doing implant maintenance.
Right.
So we have to and I have a lot of respect for what Susan Wingrove, her lecturing, she's one of my favorite people. And I feel like, I'll say, listen to Susan Wingrove.
Yeah.
She does a lot of research, but there are a lot of different opinions, and dental hygienists really don't. They're in discovery
Sure,
right now.
sure.
So, we're happy to help in any way.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. You've got another little thing here that you brought with you.
Yeah, this is actually, people come to the Brasseler booth and they say, oh, wow, you have a cordless handpiece. And I like to say, oh, wow, we were the first company to have after NSK had the first cordless handpiece, but we've had this for 15 years, and there's no cords. Ergonomics is a big issue for hygienists. It's very lightweight. A couple of features when we look at, there's a number of these out there, and what we have to offer is we are offering a handpiece that has cordless that takes any type of, other than the rolled EZA, it takes any Profi-angle, any disposable Profi-angle. When it no longer charges, if you notice it's not charging, you're going to just open up the back and change your rechargeable battery. So there's 2 features that are exceptional, cost-effective. When it doesn't charge, you don't have to buy a new $400 or $500 handpiece. Buy $20, $30 rechargeable batteries. So, change the speeds. They'll go up to 2,500 RPMs, and this is your foot control when you are going to change. Instead of kicking around a foot control, it's all in your hand. So very comfortable. We recommend this for use routine maintenance. It's not gonna remove heavy stain.
Right.
But this is probably one of the hottest conversations right now in dentistry with hygienists. One, implant maintenance,
and
the cordless.
Yeah.
So that is, and we always work with hygienists to give them the best product.
So I think you bring up a good point, and I think this has always been such a huge value proposition with Brasseler, is the experience of somebody like yourself that is able to share with them the difference. And you brought up a little thing, you just kind of spit it out because it's just your natural rhythm to talk about, but I think it's important, and that is that educating a hygienist that if a patient hasn't been in 3 years, and there's not a lot of good stuff going on in there,
right.
It's not going to do the job. So it's not the end all be all, but making that distinction on the front end sets the right expectation, and then you can guide them, as an expert on that to make sure that they buy the right stuff. And I think that's the valuable piece of minimizing people being frustrated about a product, getting excited, and then it didn't do what I said it was going to do, and you can educate that.
And that's probably the first thing out of my mouth is, tell me what are you looking for in a handpiece? And we're using the ultrasonics more. This is 2018. If you're not using an ultrasonic as a hygienist, you're killing. You're not gonna make it 40 years.
Sure.
So but really by the time we get to polishing, and a lot of us are doing selective polishing. We created a monster with our patients. Our patients don't feel like they've had their appointment unless they've been polished.
Right.
But so we're finding ways to selective polish, and the patient doesn't even realize that we're selective polishing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but this is one way. But using the ultrasonic and your hand instruments, when we get to the point that we're polishing, it is light stain and calculus.
Sure.
Well, this doesn't remove calculus anyway, but it's light stain.
Right. So one of the other awesome things I know that you guys do very well is in the schools.
Yes.
And setting tray setups and things like that. So.
Yeah, we do. We love working with schools, and very hands-on, and trying to make it work. You choose your menu. I mean, there are a lot of things we don't do, but when it comes to basic dental hygiene, instrumentation, as well as in the dental schools as well, restorative, surgical, we do have the full line of hand instrumentation. So we're as far as our hygiene scalers and curettes. You know, it's the industry standard 440A surgical stainless steel, very high Rockwell hardness, so they do hold their edge.
Right.
You do have to sharpen them, but they do hold their edge longer than an instrument that has a lower Rockwell C hardness.
Sure.
So.
All right, Brenda, how can people find out more about Brasseler? You mentioned, the newer website with
Yes.
e-commerce. So let everybody know the best place to find out you or about Brasseler, and then how they can connect with you.
Yeah. Well, I think, number one, go on the website. I think that's, we're all of us we spend hours on our phones and social media.
Sure.
Brasseler, we are on Facebook. We, go to the site, and I really want hygienists to have their own account. It is so empowering when I set a hygienist up, especially one who does temp, and she even we do buy 4 get 3 free at the dental hygiene meetings.
Right.
Only that's the only time that happens, and they're so excited because they actually now have great instruments. But you're not going to see that online. But
Right.
go to the website. You're always contact me. You can find me online. You can call the company, and they'll put you into my mailbox.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're
This has
welcome,
been
John.
awesome.
I
It's just
know,
always
I
a
know.
pleasure to bring
Yeah.
somebody on that I've known for such a long time, and to still see you doing what you're doing, give them back to the industry. You're such an awesome resource for hygienists all over the country, and certainly great products, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, John,
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you
Good
so
to
much,
see you.
Brenda.